Hey, some of you may remember that a couple of months ago I got sent these binoculars by Kite. They're 16 by 42 APC stabilised binocular. The APC stands for Angle Power Control, which is their patented technology that means that whenever the binoculars are up like this, they're powered on, and whenever you bring them down to your normal resting position or set them down, they will shut down to conserve battery power. Obviously, with having binoculars that are battery powered, that would be a big thing, conserving battery power. Now, their binoculars are powered by two AA batteries, but on board you're able to store two spare AA batteries. So they say that you get about 60 hours per set of batteries. So in theory, you've got 120 hours of battery power, which is fantastic and means you don't have to worry about the batteries. Also, they're very weird looking. Like they're not like your normal binoculars used with two barrels. You can spin them up and down for your getting your eyes in position. But these, you get your eyes in position by moving the two. They're connected there, but you just have to move one and they move symmetrically to get them lined up with your eyes. Powered on here, and then whenever you bring them up, the device inside stabilizes the binocular. So I'm not sure if it's a 60 hours. I haven't timed them, but I've had absolutely zero issues with batteries because worst case scenario, I've had to change them during the day, and I'm going to put the second set in. I'm charging the next set at night. I use rechargeable batteries, and I've got battery power again for the next day. And I think I've charged the batteries in 2 months, three times, three charges of batteries. So I'm not sure what sets I'm on the second set really. So from that point of view, fantastic. Uh, they are, once you get used to them, actually quite comfortable in the hand. The focus wheel is in the middle, where you might be used to it up here, but you get used to that. You do get used to the feel of them. I got used to it quite quickly, and they are 16 times magnification by 42 millimeters on the objective lens, which is this end. That is phenomenal for a set of binoculars. Usually at around 10 times people start getting stabilized binoculars because your hands shake, just normal movement of your hands, your head, whatever, your body moving does disorientate your brain slightly, and you're not exactly, you're always having to try and deal with that to get things in view. With this here, there's 2 degrees of uh, stabilization, so that's quite a bit of movement that it will stabilize. So you can be out in the wind in a moving car, even. That was one thing I did find out, wasn't really expecting or thinking about. I just had to look through whenever I was in the car moving, and getting on a bird whenever you were moving in the car was a weird sensation, because you can still feel the car moving. And also, then another one I would have is I would drive along roads and stop with the engine still running. The vibration of the engine running would give me on my regular 8 times binoculars enough movement that it wasn't very pleasant to watch. But this totally gone. Bright, crisp images through these whenever you get on your bird. You power it up, like I said, and bring it up to your eye, get them all lined up, and the focus wheel is quite quick. You can go from infinity to close range pretty quickly. Uh, Whenever you've got some birds moving about, slight movement on the focus wheel, and you can get a sharper image as the bird moves, which is great. They come in at around, well, I think they're about 1,900 Canadian dollars plus taxes, whatever your tax is in your province or territory. I'm not sure what that equates to in euros, pounds, or American dollars, but you can check that out. But it is a premium product price. Now, if that's kind of scaring you hearing that price, for me, good optics start for binoculars around $500 for beginners getting into entry level stuff. I would always recommend around the $500 mark is worth putting the money into. You can get some probably a bit cheaper, not worth spending less than around the $500 mark, and you can go up to 4,000. So for a premium product, these are sitting midway, but I'm going to explain that they do give you absolutely cutting edge um, views of distant birds. Even close up, once you start getting on the close up birds, you're obviously getting double the magnification of your regular binoculars. So the images, what you're seeing, are beautiful. The distant stuff, whenever I got the binoculars at the start of April, I was heading out west and would have had to consider taking my scope because I didn't really want to take my scope. This was fantastic. Having these, didn't have to worry about it. Took them, used them, doing a bit of ocean watching whenever I got out to Vancouver, drove across the country, got out to Vancouver, and some of the distant stuff in the prairies, looking at animals, moose, and some of the pronghorn antelope, pronghorn antelope. Was great. Getting nice looks on coyotes as well. Different animals I was getting to see from the RV. Nice views. And so as I got used to these, I was doing wide open watching. So it was pretty good. The Having 16 times magnification can be a bit of an issue um, when you're not used to them. Whenever you bring them up and looking at trees, I've got trees in my yard about 25 meters away here. If I look at them with my eye, I see a bird come in, land. I can see, it's in that fork in the tree around that bunch of leaves. Bring them up. Now, because I'm so zoomed in, that's a little bit of an issue trying to find that exact area. At, at 25 meters, it's fine. Things that are closer, it becomes harder because the foliage is even closer, and you start to pick up more little twigs and branches and other leaves. And it's hard if you're trying to get onto a warbler or another songbird that's bumping about in the tree pretty quickly looking for food. That can be a bit of an issue. But as I've got used to these, I use them right through May in the main migration in Point Pelee, Essex counties where I'm from. So in North America, I live in the main flyway. Haven't had the month of April to get used to them. I didn't have much of an issue. I became more comfortable with that, really double the magnification of what I'm used to. So it is a bit of an issue to get used to. It is slight issue even now for me. But in general, once I get on things, it's mind blowing that seeing how close you get and great looks you get at birds through these is great. They do have a little bit of a lag when you're looking at birds in flight, because that inside the mechanism trying to keep up, I find when I'm watching birds in flight, I get a little bit of fringing on the bird, and I can never really get it really crisp. But I haven't had any problem IDing any of the birds that I've got in flight. But just technology might catch up with that there and become even smoother in the future. But at the minute, just a slight bit of lag in that, and gives you a little fringing, a bit frustrating. They are covered. This is a sort of caveat here. The Kite warranties 30 years on their binoculars, which is great. I've had to use Kite service before. Fantastic. Dealt with them directly in Belgium, and they sort of issue I had out within a week, which is great. So I have no problem with that. It was just whenever I mentioned about I was how pleased I was. That's whenever they said, well, I could try these ones out. So the binoculars are covered with that, but the electronics inside is only 2-year warranty. Me, for around the $2,000 mark, that kind of scares me a little bit. Now, I don't know if there was an issue outside of the 2 years, would it be an expensive fix? I possibly wouldn't mind spending $100 or $200 if there was an issue in 2 years, but I wouldn't want to be spending any more than that. And ideally, wouldn't want to spend anything. Now, I'll spend $2,000. I would like the comfort of knowing that I can send the binoculars and get them fixed. So, if possible, I would like to see Kite push that warranty to 5 or 6 years, to be really comfortable that they stand by their product and you feel comfortable spending that kind of money. So that was a little sort of negative I would say about the binoculars, is that warranty. But like I said, I used them out west. Watching gulls and things and ducks in distance was fantastic. Getting really crippling looks at birds that were usually too far away. Then when I come home, I do a lot of bird watching around water treatment plants, water retention ponds and that there. So some of them are quite large. And typically I would go with my scope to get good looks at birds day day. But if I was going with regular binoculars, usually I get too close to the bird and flush them. They fly away before I get close enough to get a good idea or good look. So that's a bit frustrating. But with these, I'm now twice as far away, getting good looks. Now, me being into the photography, a bit of an issue I had is I would look through these, have great looks at the bird. Oh, that looks fantastic. Set them down, bring my camera up, even at the 500mm end, which I have a 100 to 500mm lens. Then I would get the camera up, and I was so disappointed with what I was seeing in the camera, because these were giving me such good looks that the camera now was so inferior feeling that it was the bird was a little dot in the center of the sensor, So I wasn't getting really good photos that I thought, no, the eye, and then I would get closer and back to normal. So for me, like I said, the geography, the landscape changes a little bit with the 16 times magnification, but whenever I got close enough to the bird anyway, I was wanting to get my camera up, so I don't have much of an issue that way. Some people who are just looking at birds through the binoculars may feel that's a bit more of an issue, that they weren't really getting as good a looks or being able to find the bird with the sort of narrow 42. So 42 is not narrow in particular, but whenever you're looking through 8 by 42s, this is now double that, so now you're looking through half the size of the objective lens at the same thing, so it is narrower. But once you get on the bird, it is great. The views are fantastic. I said it's really crisp and clear. Um, I would recommend these. If you're in the market for sort of premium binoculars, I would feel more comfortable if they push the warranty out a bit more to really say, yep, 100% this is where you want to go. They do also offer a 12 times 42, which, magnification is 12 times instead of 16, which may be an option. You still get that great stabilization, great looks, but then you're going to have that slightly wider field of view on the close-up stuff. Might be an option there as well. A little bit cheaper of an option as well. But like I said, I was sent the 16s, and I've really got used to them. I'm comfortable with them. So far, really happy with them. So that's a great plus. Like I said, the weight's not bad. Carrying these around your neck all day won't be a problem. If you change your strap to a harness, even less of a problem. I don't really feel a big discernible difference compared to my regular binoculars. They are heavier, and you've got 4 batteries on there, which adds a little bit of weight as well, the 2 extra ones. The mechanism, all that does add weight, but they're comfortable in the hand once you get used to the shape and position of them. And like I said, I've just used the regular neck strap. I've had no issues. Used them quite heavily throughout May for migration, and had no issues with the weight. So they're well put together. Field quality, they are waterproof. They've got an IP7 rating, which is they can go underwater for 1 meter for 30 minutes, I think, or 30 seconds. Don't know. They are waterproof, so you put them dunked in water and you got them out. Standing in the rain, watching birds in the rain, you don't have to worry about it. Just have to worry about keeping your objective lens and your eye cups free from water while you're looking. And that idea of bringing it up and down for your chest and the powering off, saving battery life is another great plus. So all in all, I do recommend these. They do give you really good looks at the birds, and there's no the compromise I'd say is that with your regular binoculars, your 8 times binoculars, regardless of the premium brand or not, is you're going to get on birds quicker because you've got that wider field of view. Um, Especially close up as well. Whenever you get on that, you've got that. The difference between looking with your eyes and looking with an 8 times isn't huge. Looking with a 16 times becomes a lot bigger. So that would be the compromise there. But what you're gaining then is whenever you get on the birds, if they are close, is fantastic looks. Distant birds, further birds away, you're not even getting on them with your regular binoculars. These you're still getting on birds in a distance and getting good looks that you're able to ID birds and see what birds you're looking at. So there's a compromise either way with binoculars. Some you haven't realized before because you're so used to the 8 times and 10 times magnification that this seems a whole lot different. It is different. It is better. Um, Regardless if you have handshake or not, if you can get a more stable view just regularly, then why not? And this gives you that. So overall, very happy with it. The few negatives, like I've said, the warranty, the field of view is a little bit of an issue, and panning, but these give you so much more as far as the distance, clarity of looks at birds at a distance. They feel like a quality product. Kite, in my experience, have been making quality products. Belgian company, so really happy with them. I would recommend them with those few caveats. If you get past them and you're happy enough to think about it, don't go somewhere for the first time. Be planning a birding trip and say I'm going to use these, because you'll be disappointed with not getting used to using them and then trying some. Get used to using them and then go and do your birding trip, or else bring your other binoculars with you until you get used to them, because there is a learning curve. The feel is different, and like I say, retraining your brain on how to view things through the binocular it was a bit of a challenge for me. You might be better than me and not have a problem, but that would be a problem. So all in all, really happy with these and would recommend them. Hopefully that has been of help to some people, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.